This is the power which belongs to him who overcomes. Never again permit yourself to be the breeding ground of darkness, evil, discord, and distress. Perfect love casts out all fear, or converts or transforms the evil thereof into eternal power of infinite magnitude. Yea, perfect love is a divine transforming power of our Father and holds all things in its tender embrace. One who perfects this gift of love overcomes all negative evil forces, first within himself, then in his surrounding, and then sending it out, it goes on and multiplying, blessing forever. Yea, all things will be subjected unto him, both in heaven and on earth, the life and the light, the spirit and the power, sent forth by the will of the Father through me, Jesus Christ his Son. And no word can return unto him void. The time is at hand for all things to begin to be fulfilled in you. In my earthly ministry, I gave the information that my kingdom was not of this world. Neither are the greater laws which I imparted of this earth. Most of the laws, those great unloved, untried laws, which I gave, I the higher laws of my kingdom, and are truly not of this world. These higher laws are of an advanced realm and await those who have the vision and courage to accept them and a desire to fulfill them. It is true, as this world was proclaimed, that the Sermon on the Mount which I gave, and the first and second great commandments are not meant for mere dull mortal living. For when they are lived, one is no longer either dull nor mere mortal.
Teacher, which is the greatest commandment in the law? Jesus replied, Love the Lord your God with all your heart, and with all your soul, and with all your mind. This is the first and greatest commandment. And the second is like it. Love your neighbor as yourself. All the law and the prophets hang on these two commandments. He said, Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are those who mourn, for they will be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they will inherit the earth. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they will be filled. Blessed are the merciful, for they will be shown mercy. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they will see God. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called children of God. Blessed are those who are persecuted because of righteousness, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are you, when people insult you, persecute you, and falsely say all kinds of evil against you because of me. Rejoice and be glad, because great is your reward in heaven, for in the same way they persecuted the prophets who were before you. You are the salt of the earth. But if the salt loses its saltiness, how can it be made salty again? It is no longer good for anything except to be thrown out and trampled underfoot. You are the light of the world. A town built on a hill cannot be hidden. Neither do people light a lamp and put it under a bowl. Instead, they put it on its stand, and it gives light to everyone in the house. In the same way let your light shine before others, that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven. Do not think that I have come to abolish the law or the prophets. I have not come to abolish them, but to fulfill them. For truly I tell you, until heaven and earth disappear, not the smallest letter, not the least stroke of a pen, will by any means disappear from the law until everything is accomplished.
Remember, my beloved, I promised the world that he who would live the laws I gave would know whether they were of God, or whether they were given without authority or power. Few have accepted the challenge to live the sacred laws of my kingdom, those holy laws beyond mortal requirements. Those who have not only proved the source of the laws, but have fulfilled laws beyond human standards that have admitted into my kingdom, which is not of this world. Those who seek only to see and live by the laws which suit their individual lusts and desires, rejecting the higher laws of my kingdom, must needs abide under a lower plane. The selection is entirely their own. Go beyond the stated requirements, the scheduled laws of righteousness, and learn the great mysteries of godliness. Laws are not difficult. Laws are but the pathway of your own glory. They are all there from the greatest to the least. You make your own selection of the ones you are willing to obey. thus selecting the kingdom you wish to inhabit. Like the rich young man who obeyed all the laws of the kingdom of heaven except one, and because he desired his worldly wealth more than he desired my kingdom, which was not worldly, he remained in the kingdom which laws he was completely willing to obey.
As Jesus started on his way, a man ran up to him and fell on his knees before him. "Good teacher," he asked, "what must I do to inherit eternal life?" "Why do you call me good?" Jesus answered. "No one is good except God alone. You know the commandments: you shall not murder, you shall not commit adultery, you shall not steal, you shall not give false testimony, you shall not defraud, honor your father and mother." "Teacher," he declared, "all these I have kept since I was a boy." Jesus looked at him and loved him. "One thing you lack," he said. "Go, sell everything you have and give to the poor, and you will have treasure in heaven. Then come, follow me." At this, the man's face fell. He went away sad, because he had great wealth. Jesus looked around and said to his disciples, "How hard it is for the rich to enter the kingdom of God."
There are laws, telestial, laws terrestrial, and celestial laws. And within each of these three main divisions are many grades and states. You who belong to my kingdom must need to live the higher laws, and they are the laws that are higher in their purified requirements. Any and every law is easy to obey when you love me and desire to obey me more than you desire your own petty whims and appetites. If your own lusts are your greatest desire, then you will obey the call of the flesh and remain enslaved to your senses, your pride, your appetites, and carnal craving. The laws of my kingdom, which is not of this world, contains the highest laws possible. Yet even these laws are easy to fulfill and live by if you desire to enter my kingdom and believe in the promise I have made unto the children of men. Few on this earth have been able to live even the lesser laws of the golden rule. Those who are the most noble on the earth and have built their character into monuments of everlasting value and power. The golden rule is the highest mortal law given, but I have invited you to reach beyond mortality and have given the laws by which this may be accomplished. Reach beyond mortality and fulfill the divine laws, and you will become divine. The 10 Commandments are the main laws to govern mortal physical living. The golden rule is a law beyond these and is one of the inner ethics which is written in a man's own soul. If one cannot live by the 10 fundamental commandments and mocks at or rejects them, how can he hope to be prepared to abide the laws of my kingdom? If one cannot live the golden rule, how can he hope to fulfill those two, the first and second greatest of all commandments? Those who can obey the petition to give themselves completely to God and their fellow men in perfect love will thus fulfill all the lesser laws, and as my servant John declared, will be truly born of God and will no longer be under the law. My kingdom is not of this world, neither are the laws pertaining to my kingdom of this world. Live the laws which govern my kingdom, and you shall have the power to pass into my kingdom and become members of the church of the firstborn, or the kingdom of the firstborn. Yea, you shall belong to the righteous whom I have and will reserve unto myself. Then, becoming members in the kingdom of light and perfected, you will no longer be under any laws, for you will have fulfilled all laws and all righteousness. Be ye perfect, even as your Father in heaven is perfect, is a command of the higher kingdom, which demands that you forgive your enemies. Pray for those who despitefully use you and persecute you, and of whatever is required of you, you must give double. And that which you do unto the least of these, my brethren, you do it unto me. The least are those whom you may consider unworthy of any consideration or help at your hands. Surely such unworthy ones are the least and most in need of your compassion. Hard laws, you say? Then you are not prepared to live by them and must go your way, the way of your own choosing, the way of the world. If to you these laws are beautiful and desirable, then you may take my hand and come follow me. To you, my dearly beloved anointed ones, may I say that no commandment was ever given by me or my Father, which did not contain the power of its fulfillment, if you will only continue to desire and believe. for these very words are endowed with the living life of my being. Nothing is impossible to him who believes. Believe in my promises, and they are yours. If you keep my commandments, then am I bound. Where your strength and understanding ends, then mine will begin. And do not think that if you turn your other cheek to be smitten by some bully, as you cringe in groveling fear, that you are fulfilling my law. That is not my law. My law demands that you stand before every adversity clothed in the peace of my power, the majesty of my strength, the knowledge of my nearness, and with every vibration and thought issuing forth from you in complete control. This is the power of divine dignity, the place of supreme command. Cringing, groveling acceptance, fear and retaliating vibrations of hate and resentment hold not but the weakness of the coward, or the self-pitying sanctimoniousness of a weakling. And in such condition or attitude, you could be beaten into the mud 1,001 times and yet not have fulfilled my law. My law is power, ineffable power. My law is that you hold your thought and your vibrations in such complete control, reacting only with love, forgiveness, and compassion. Then no matter what men would do to you, the strength of your own released reactions would rock the earth.
If I speak in the tongues of men or of angels, but do not have love, I am only a resounding gong or a clanging cymbal. If I have the gift of prophecy, and can fathom all mysteries and all knowledge, and if I have a faith that can move mountains, but do not have love, I am nothing. If I give all I possess to the poor, and give over my body to hardship that I may boast, but do not have love, I gain nothing. Love is patient. Love is kind. It does not envy. It does not boast. It is not proud. It does not dishonor others. It is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. Love never fails.
Live the higher laws in your fullness and receive the power to clothe yourselves in their majesty. And remember first and always that self-righteousness destroys instantly the power of the fulfilling. Only in divine humility and perfect love can one tread the highway of the divine. For straight is the gate and narrow is the way. For it does not include the broad ways of many diverse patterns and evils. It is a pathway that must follow in a straight and true line the light of my law and of my leading. It is truly a narrow way, lighted by the very glory and the power of God, and is most beautiful. Only in divine humility and perfect love can one tread the highway of the divine. For straight is the gate and narrow is the way. For it does not include the broad ways of many diverse patterns and evils. It is a pathway that must follow in a straight and true line the light of my law and of my leading. It is truly a narrow way, lighted by the very glory and the power of God, and is most beautiful. It does not follow into dark roads and forbidden paths of dismay and evil. It is the highway of joy and achievement and infinite divine power. It is the way of God. Walk it humbly, my dearly beloved, and as you tread the sacred road of glory, you shall be purified and clothed in light. I am the way, and you must needs travel it by my light. This is the way of joy and of perfection. This is the pathway of divine ecstasy which brings one to the fullness of God, of joy which has been promised to those who would lift their eyes unto the heights and follow the way of my laws, for these laws only can prepare you for my kingdom. He who goes up any other way is a thief and a robber and will be cast out. Beloved children, you who are permitted to have part in this new age of dawning light and power, ruled by my many holy laws in love and wisdom, know that the law is given that you might fulfill a law and pass beyond it, that you too might no longer be under the law. To reach this great love, that the law might be fulfilled, it is necessary that you begin to exert full control over your own great powers of creation. You must exert the will and the power to bring all things under your